and welcome to God's House Ministry. In today's discussion, I would like to tell you a story about something that happened to me about 2.5 years ago. I was working with a fella who was an atheist, and me being a Christian, we had some interesting conversations. But we stopped by the store one day, a gas station, for lunch, and I went into the store, walked into the bathroom, and a homeless guy came in and started bathing himself in the sink. I said hello. He kind of looked at me shy, and then walked on. I walked on out of the bathroom. Well, I went in. They had a special there, 2 hot dogs and a drink, for only like $2.50. So I decided that's what I was going to get for lunch. So I fixed my hot dogs, I fixed my drink. When I turned around, I noticed the same homeless guy who was standing over by the donut rack, and he would stand there and he would look at looking at the donuts, and he would look at them all, and then he would look down at his hand. He had a little bit of change in his hand. He would sit there and he would count the change, as and then look up there and look again and look back down, as he was hoping that maybe more would appear, and he miscounted because he was hungry, and wasn't bothering anyone. I looked around the store. People kept giving him all kinds of bad looks, and it was really moving to me to see him standing there, just hoping that he could have something to eat. So I go up to the counter and I pay for my meal, and I got done paying for the meal, and I looked up at the lady and she said, well, that would be all. And I said, well, no, I want to purchase him 2 hot dogs and a drink. I want to buy him the lunch meal that we have, and that you have. And she looked at me so strange, and just standing there looking at me just so oddly. And so I asked her, I said, is there a problem? And she said, well, do you know this guy? And I said, no. She said, then why are you buying him lunch? I said, because it is my duty as a Christian, as a human being, as a person, to watch out for my other fellow beings. So she kept looking at me strangely, and I turn around and I look in the line, and there's about 3 people behind me that are standing there, and they're all looking at me strangely, like I had the plague, or I was asking to rob the place or something even. And it was just such an odd feeling. And I said, well, can you please ring it up, and so I can get him something to eat. She rang him up. I took the food. I took the receipt, and I went over to him and I handed it to him. When I handed it to him, he just looked at me strange, and I said, look, fix you 2 hot dogs and a drink. Your lunch has been paid for. And he, looked up at me with this confused look, and he said, well, thank you. Acted generally thankful. And I said, well, don't thank me. I said, this lunch was paid for you by Jesus Christ. God's love paid for your lunch. So thank God, not me. And I turned around and I walked out the door. Well, I get, the atheist that was with me, very skeptical, very skeptical person. We get out to the truck, and he looks at me and he says, you're crazy. He says, you don't have much money. I know, you've been working with me for, quite a little bit now and lately, and I know that you just don't have a whole lot of money. So, what you do have, you should be saving and not just giving it away to someone that you don't even know. And I told him, I said, well, why not? He said, because you're not getting anything from him. You're not going to get anything out of this. And, I told him, no, I promise you that I will get something out of this. I will get the joy of knowing that I helped someone. Well, he laughed, and he goes, well, he says, I guarantee you, he's going to take that receipt, and he's going to go up, and he's going to take that hot dogs that you've already paid for, and he's going to trade those in, and he's going to get him some beer or something like that, and, you just wasted your money to make sure that an alcoholic, whatever, is going to do. Because people aren't genuine. People like that lie and cheat and steal, and that's why they live on the streets, because they're on drugs and everything else. So I told him, well, I'll tell you what, let's see. So I sat here, and we sat there in the car, in the truck, and we ate our lunch. Well, when we ate our lunch, and watching the door, waiting for him to come out, well, he comes out, lo and behold, he's got 2 hot dogs, and he's got a drink, smiling from ear to ear. Comes out of the store, walks over to the side of the store, there's a little patch of grass there, lays in the grass, sits there, eats his hot dogs, drinking his drink, and just staring up at the sky, as to say, thank you, God. Thank you for what you've given me to eat today. And, the atheist did not know what to say. Okay. The reason I'm telling you this story is not because I want notoriety. It's not because I think that that I'm a saint or any other reason. The reason I'm telling you this story is because something in this story bothered me deeply, and it touched me deeply, and I believe that it was God telling me and teaching me and helping lead me and guide me. The atheist, I know what you're thinking, it's the atheist that was bothering me because of his blunt reasoning for why I didn't. But actually, I knew he was an atheist. I knew his attitudes. That didn't bother me at all. What did bother me is the lady who looked at me funny and was so shocked and could not believe that I was buying food for someone that I didn't know and helping out someone in need. And the people that were standing behind me when I turned around and looked at them, they all 3 had one thing in common. Every single one of them were wearing a cross around their neck. That bothered me more than anything in the world. Because, wearing the cross is a sign and a show of your faith, showing that I am a Christian. I believe in Jesus Christ, and He believes in me. And I believe that the ways of Jesus Christ is the ways that I live my life. These people were so astonished and so basically turned off by me helping someone in need and being Christians that it truly moved me and bothered me. And I hope that day that they actually learned a lesson or talked about what they saw in the store with other people and learned something from that at the same point. We've got to realize that as a Christian, our attitudes matter. What we do, we are an ambassador for Christ. We walk through this earth as Christians, or disciples, or whatever term you like to use. We walk through this world, and what we do should be an example of what God does. If we speak wrongly towards people, we should apologize, and we should try to straighten ourselves out on that. Pray for God's guidance. If we walk around and we do things that we know that we shouldn't, everyone in this world that we come in contact with sees that. Everyone. And one thing you can guarantee, people are quick to judge. And if at any point someone is thinking about going to a church or thinking about trusting in God, and they see us acting in a wrongful way, then they will look at you and use you as a reason for not following that path. Because they'll say, why do I want to go there? Why do I want to dedicate my life to living my life as a Christian if these are the kind of people and these are the kind of attitudes that represent what God is? Well, it's not. So today I just would like to convey that we watch our attitudes, we watch ourselves, be slow to speak, and show people the love of Christ through ourselves, through our actions. Because if we cannot show love, then how are we receiving truly God's love? We are living an example of what God is giving us. We are supposed to be pushing out. If God has blessed you, you bless someone else. If God has given you someone else. If God is showing you love, then you tell someone else that God is giving you love and showering love to you like there's no tomorrow. An angry heart has no room for God. You can't get by the anger. You can't have love and hate live in the same body. So I encourage you, watch our attitudes, treat others as we would want to be treated, and thank God every day for His love and His mercy. This is Chad Burton. Thank you for watching God's House today, and God bless you.